Hey YouTubers, well, I'm getting the sprayer ready for spraying herbicide on the pastures, you know, for improved pastures. Just kind of showing you. Right now I'm filling up, checking for leaks. Shortly after that I'll put the herbicide, once it tests out and pressurizes, I will put the herbicide in there. You know, I don't want to have any leaks and, you know, identified after I put the herbicide in there, because it's easier to replace hoses and stuff with just clean fresh water. I'll get back with you. Okay, I did my check and sure enough I discovered a problem, which is when you usually use it the first time of the season, the pump is stiff. Some people say it seized, but I've always been able to work them free. Takes a little bit of WD-40 and know-how, but that's my next project before I start spraying herbicide. Is working on that pump and getting it from being seized. So you can see I've got the pump off. Also, just a little note, this sprayer I've probably had it's older than this place, 20 years old, this sprayer. What I do at the end of every time I use it is I actually spray some anti-corrosion product in there, which is that product right there. Works really well, so you can see that. And right now I have that pump sitting up. I sprayed some WD-40 in it. As you can see, I've kind of got it angled to allow that WD-40 to slide down in that pump. And I'll get a breaker bar here in a second and free it. Okay, for a little update, what I did was, as you can see, I have a protector, you know, paper towel, paper cloth, or cotton cloth around the spindle, and that wasn't doing it. So basically what I did was I took the screws out here and just pry this open a little bit to relieve that pressure where it seizes against that plate a little bit, and just spun it around, put some WD-40, and I'm ready to put it back together. So that's the update. Voila! There it is. It's back on. And you can see everything's checking out. It's spraying. Nozzle's been adjusted. Looks good. Now ready to load us up in herbicide, and I'll be ready to go. This may be the end of the video. If it is, till next video, later. Okay, filling her up. Then I'll put the herbicide in, and once it's almost filled up, for a little bit of stirring action there toward the end. Nothing else to report on except ladybugs, and they're just all over the place. I don't know if you can see them. They're just flying around all over the place. And the other last little thing is that even though that took 15 minutes out of my life, I do want to show you what I get from that 15 minutes. A total drenching sweat bath. I am soaked to the bone in only 15 minutes. Texas life, you gotta love it. Till next video, see y'all later. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. But not so fast. The most important thing that needs to be checked before we go out and before we put herbicide in it. It's underneath. It's a filter. And I've already done it. I've already checked this filter. Matter of fact, it had a little fungus among us. Where's that fungus? We need to kill that fungus because it's among us. Or mold. But it needs to be checked every time you use it. But if it sets up, it's going to build fungus among us in there. Who's that? Fungus among us. I've already done it, cleaned it out. Next thing I need to do is make sure I turn the supply back on. And you can hear it come back on. No leaks. Well, a little leak. Let me fix that real quick and I'll be ready to go. Hey, it's never perfect. Okay, we're back at it. By the way, why that happened was that O-ring wasn't properly seated. Happens sometimes. Okay, let me cut the water back on again. See what we get. No leaks. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, we're ready to get started. By the way, no little note. Can you see where there's pins for these arms? I don't like to use pins. Spring does just fine. And if I hit something, it doesn't bend up the arm. So I think it's a lot more safer with not using the pins. I want to show you, this is the weeds we're going after. You can see it's just nothing but weeds in certain spots. Most of our grass is pretty good this year, but we do have weeds. So that's what we're going after. Maybe some lug bugs.